Hey everyone, what is going on? So we have more battles in the Ultra League for Go Battle League for you, and I am using a new team. Now, Lapras is a Pokemon that I used in the preseason all of Ultra League, and I did really well with it. It would basically win when my opponent didn't lead a Steel type. That's basically how my Lapras strategy would work, because obviously a Steel type is going to counter it, and the reason for that is because yes, they're neutral to Surf, but they also, if it's Registeel, it has Focus Blast. If it's Melmetal, it has Superpower. And Lapras really can't keep up with that, so it would be difficult. And on my preseason team, instead of the Registeel, I had the Togekiss. So I really couldn't deal with Steel types at all. Now the Registeel with Focus Blast can, and Lapras can to an extent with Surf. So it depends on Shield. But either way, I love this team. In fact, Lapras is so good. It really is. It's so good. I almost didn't want to even post a video on it because I wanted to get to rank 10 maybe with this team and then talk about it. But I'm like, you know what? No, I want to help you guys out. So if you have Lapras invested in or you want to consider using it, I think it's fantastic. It's going to beat very common Pokemon in the meta. It's going to beat Togekiss. It's going to beat Giratina, both Giratina forms, right? It's going to beat Articuno, which is really popular. King made Articuno really popular, and it's a really good Pokemon, so it's going to beat that as well. So definitely a really good Pokemon, and obviously it's going to lose to the Steel type. So if you have if you're facing a Registeel as a lead or a Melmetal, you're probably going to want to back out into the Registeel. So that's going to be a little bit challenging to come back from that, as well as Poliwrath, which is a common Pokemon. Machamp isn't actually super common, although I do face it now in this battle. But again, Poliwrath probably would be the common one. But here we have Togekiss, and we're just going to knock it out with Lapras. So, how did I do in this video? Well, the first set I go 3-2, and the second set I go 5-0. So I'm waiting to try this team again tomorrow, but I think it's absolutely fantastic. Again, Lapras has just done so much for me in the preseason. It helped my ranking go up. I didn't reach rank 10 in the Ultra League in preseason. I reached rank 10 in the Master League, but it definitely helped my rating. So here we go. We have the Steel type. We have Registeel, right? Definitely not a good lead, so I am charging up and going for the Surf. I wanted to get damage off against this Registeel before he used a charge attack, because I wanted to maybe put it in Focus Blast range, so maybe he wouldn't shield it and I could just knock out the Registeel. So in comes that Focus Blast. I could have shielded it, but I decided not to, and I am going to go for my own Focus Blast right now, hoping that this goes unshielded. It does. It actually wasn't in Focus Blast range, but at least I might be able to farm him down, although I do let this... And now, the thing is, I let this go through because I was expecting the Flash Cannon, and I knew I'd take it, so it was a Flash Cannon. So right here, I could have went for a Flash Cannon. Unfortunately, I got greedy and tried to knock it out, so I should have shielded that, or I should have used my Flash Cannon to knock out the Registeel, and then I would have won the lead. So that's a little bit unfortunate for me, but it is what it is. So in comes a Meganium, and this is interesting. So we already had energy on the Lapras, so I'm going to go ahead and shield this, and obviously you would think grass types beat water types, and for the most part, I mean, they do. I mean, it's not a great matchup if they lead Venusaur or Meganium into Lapras, but at least you're able to go for strong attacks, right? So, like Ice Beam, which is going to do a lot to a grass Pokemon, or you could bluff with the Surf, as you saw I did against the Meganium. So right now I switched into my Venusaur. Unfortunately, they had a Giratina in the back, so this game is definitely not looking good for me. I should have went for that Flash Cannon early on with that Registeel, so I could have won the lead. So if they brought in Giratina, could have brought in the Lapras. If they brought in the Meganium, I could have brought in Venusaur, and we probably would have won this game. So that's why I said this is still a new team for me. I'm still just getting used to it. So the first set didn't do too well, but that's okay. Well, I did well. I mean, we went 3-2. We went up, so it's not that we didn't do. It's not that we did bad, you know. But either way, I'm just going to try and get as much damage as possible. I switch into Lapras, hoping to feint it down. Unfortunately, he gets to an Ancient Power, and I let it go through because I'm like, I'm gonna need my attacks for this Meganium, and I'm going. Do I go for the? Yeah, I go for the Ice Beam, hoping he would think it was a Surf bait and not shield it. Unfortunately, he does shield it. And I'm trying my hardest to get to an Ice Beam. Do I win this one? I might actually win this. Wait, I kind of remember winning this. It seemed like a hopeless situation. We're trying to go for Ice Beam. Oh no, we get to the Ice Beam, but it was a CMP tie, and he's going to win with that Frenzy Plant. I could have went for the Surf, but would Surf have knocked it out? I don't know. But either way, a couple of mistakes on my end. I should have went for the Surf. That may have actually knocked it out. And then we had a couple of Vine Whips. So I may have been able to win that one. But you guys get the point. Made a couple of mistakes. But that's okay. As I said, still learning the team. So now we have Swampert. Very common Pokemon in this. I see Swampert almost on every team, to be honest with you. Lapras does win this, even if he goes for Earthquake. If he goes for Earthquake, Lapras can take it. Don't have to shield. You can, but you don't have to. It is an Earthquake. If it was a bait, obviously that would have been better for us. Earthquake did about, what was it, like 45-50%, something like that. But we're going to go for the Surf. He will not shield it. Totally fine. We're going to go for another Surf. So let's see what happens. Let's see if he decides to shield. He does, so that's okay. So he's going to go ahead and go for a charge attack. Now, I'm not shielding this. I'm expecting the Hydro Pump bait. Hydro Cannon. It is a Hydro Cannon bait, so we do call that one correctly and get to a Surf. Now, he would have knocked me out if he went for the Earthquake, but we still would have been up a shield. Now, he used a second shield. This is going to be another Hydro Cannon, and this will knock us out. So he's going to be able to win this matchup, but we got him super low. We could farm with Venusaur. He might be able to get to... No, he can't get to the Hydro Cannon. We have energy, and we're up 2 shields. We lose the lead, but we're up 2 shields. Switching into that Registeel to counter Giratina, and my opponent's going to back out. Maybe he had a Togekiss in the back. I'm not really sure, but we do go ahead and win that one. So next up, my opponent, Holden McGroin, very powerful trainer, so... definitely strong, powerful trainer, so he leads with Togekiss. Definitely favorable for us, switching into Giratina. Now, I didn't have to switch out my Lapras. I don't know why I did. Lapras is still favorable against Giratina, but I switched into Registeel, which also counts as Giratina. The problem is he gets the boost. So when I saw that boost, I was like, oh no, my attacks are doing less. He's going to be shielding them up anyway, so he does go ahead and shield it. But I thought even with the boost, I thought that I would still be okay because we still resist all of Giratina's moves. He gets a second boost. And I'm like, are you... you know, I wasn't really... I mean, honestly, I was kind of laughing at it at that point, but at that point, I figured the game was over. His Giratina's going to be able to knock out my Registeel. Now, I guess you could say maybe I shouldn't have switched out Lapras. Sure, but the Ancient Power would have went through. Super effective damage. We still generally win that matchup, but not when he gets the buff. So I'm going to bring in my Lapras and shield this because I do not want to take an Ancient Power. It's a Dragon Claw, but that still would have done a lot. So I'm going to go straight for the Ice Beam. I could have bluffed expecting the shield. I don't know. I decided to just go Ice Beam. He does go ahead and shield that one. And this is going to be... I'm going to not shield it. I was hoping it would be a Dragon Claw, and we call that correctly. But... yeah, still very, very difficult for us. He got 2 buffs. I am going to go ahead and shield this Dragon Claw. And we do get to the Ice Beam. Honestly, I just want to knock out this Giratina. So I am going to go ahead and do just that. So actually, that's a... Never mind, that doesn't even knock out Giratina. So he's going to be able to knock out my Lapras. Wow, a double buff. Have you guys ever seen that before? I have. Honestly, I've received it before, and it's annoying. But no, it's not annoying when you get it. It's annoying when your opponent gets it. But we do charge up with my Venusaur and go for the Sludge Bomb, and he brings in Togekiss, and that tells me he has Swampert in the back, right? He has Swampert in the back, and I'm trying to get to this Frenzy Plant, and I get to the Frenzy Plant. Maybe he was trying to catch the Sludge Bomb, but I just went for Frenzy Plant anyway to knock out the Swampert. Unfortunately, he's going to be able to get to a Charge Attack and knock me out, so we came super close. Without those buffs, there's no doubt I would have won that, but that's okay. That's part of the game. So we do go ahead and lose that game. So really well played to Holden McGroin. Nice. It was such an honor to play, man. But for the next matchup, it's going to be Articuno, which is really popular, versus my Lapras. So this does favor Lapras, but you have to keep in mind that Articuno also has Ancient Power, which is super effective to Lapras. But because Lapras is so bulky and so huge, it's going to be able to take, I think, a couple of them, unless if it gets the buff. You know, hopefully Articuno doesn't get the buff. So yeah, as you can see, we could still take it. And we're chipping away. We're doing neutral damage with Surf. We're doing neutral damage with Ice Shard. Even with Ice Beam if I decide to go it. But he does go ahead and shield that. So beautiful. I'm actually really happy that he shielded that, because he goes for the Ancient Power, so don't get a boost, he doesn't, and we're actually able to get to another Surf. So we're going to not only knock out this Articuno, but we're going to take his second shield, so never mind. So he brings in Giratina, and I cannot get to that Ice Beam, so I am going to go ahead and just get off whatever damage I can against the Giratina, so that's fine. But we also have a Registeel counter, and Registeel does resist the Ancient Power, right? It also resists the Dragon Claw, so I'm okay with this as long as he doesn't get a double buff, right? We're able to take it. I mean, the damage over time will add up, but we're still able to take it. Honestly, I like the Registeel against Giratina more than I like Togekiss, because Togekiss is weak to Ancient Power and takes a lot from it. I think Clefable is probably the way to go if you're going with a Charm user, to be totally honest with you. I just don't have one for this cup, but going to be hit with Dragon Claw, not a problem. In comes that Swampert. You guys know my Venusaur is coming in. I see Swampert almost every game. So I figured this one was going to be an Earthquake, so I am going to go ahead and shield it. It's actually a Hydro Cannon, so he does go ahead and bait. If it was an Earthquake, I would have charged up more energy, but I didn't want him to get to like an Earthquake, so I will just go for the Frenzy Plant and knock out the Swampert. We're in a commanding position. I know he has the Articuno, which we're going to be weak to, but we still have a shield. So he brings in Articuno, totally fine. He still has Giratina. I will shield this up. I could have let it go through, but I decided to shield it. And we're trying to get to the Sludge Bomb. We do get to it. This is going to be enough, even with the debuff, to knock out that Articuno. So it is enough to knock out Articuno. He brings in Giratina. I pull the switch immediately, just trying to get to the Flash Cannon. And I had no problem using my shield against the Articuno because I knew my Registeel was not going to be knocked out by Giratina, right? I knew he had the Giratina, obviously, in the back. So we're going to be able to get to the Flash Cannon and take that win. So we were basically in control of that game. I've seen a lot of Articuno leads, guys, which is why I also like the Lapras lead. So for the next matchup, again, leading with Lapras against Registeel. So, this is not good for us, right? I told you Steel-type leads like Melmetal and Registeel are not good. So, just charging up energy. I charge up energy and I pull the switch into my Registeel. So, I decided to take the hit. I'm expecting the Focus Blast. It is. No reason to bluff. Might as well just go straight Focus Blast. So, I'm going to go ahead and go for Focus Blast as well to get off the damage against Tem, or take a shield. Let's see what he decides to do. He will shield it up. Totally fine. It makes sense to shield it up. 100% expecting the Flash Cannon, so I'm actually not going to shield. It is going to be that Flash Cannon. Usually players, I'm telling you guys, if they land the first Focus Blast, the next attack will be a Flash Cannon. It never fails. It never fails. If you shield the first Focus Blast, they'll probably go for Focus Blast again. But this obviously is going to be a Flash Cannon because that would knock me out at this range anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and shield it and try and get to my Focus Blast. However, he pulls the switch into Swampert, so I'm going to switch with that energy saved up in the back with my Venusaur. I'm expecting the Earthquake. I'm not expecting the Hydro, but I let it go because Venusaur can still take it. It does a lot, but we're able to take it. Charge up extra energy. Gonna go ahead and go for this Frenzy Plant to knock out that Swampert easily. So we have energy on the Venusaur, but can we get to a Frenzy Plant or a Sludge Bomb? Let's find out. He brings in Melmetal. So Melmetal is a Steel type and will resist Frenzy Plant, but it's also a squishy Pokemon, so it still does decent damage, right? I'm trying to charge. It looks like we're experiencing some lag. Yeah, we are, and it looks like I'm getting a few extra hits in, so that allows me to get to another Frenzy Plant. He probably could have knocked me out with a charge attack before I got to that Frenzy Plant, but it's been happening a lot. Look, he gets to the charge attack now. So yeah, the charge attack would have went through. Whether or not I shielded, I don't know. Probably not. But it happens. It's unfortunate. Hopefully Niantic does something about it. But we just bring in the Lapras and go for the Surf immediately. So this Surf is going to be enough to knock out that Melmetal. In comes Registeel, and I switch into my Registeel and click on that Focus Blast as soon as I can, which will do a lot of damage to his. And then he just runs from the battle. I guess maybe he figured it was over, and it was over because I had the Lapras, and he would have, yeah. So either way, good game. So I bring in my Lapras versus Shiny Cresselia. So this, I actually didn't know how this matchup went. So let's find out. Let's watch. I believe it should. I think it favors Lapras, if I remember correctly. So we do have to watch out for obviously the Future Sight, which does do a lot of damage, as well as Moonblast. Future Sight does an enormous amount of damage, so it is the Future Sight, but again, we're able to take it, and we're going to charge up to the Ice Beam and go for the Surf. So this Surf is, again, going to chip away, and we get to Surf so fast. We actually get to another one, so we're going to go ahead and go for it. So we do go for the Surf right now, and he's not going to shield it, and he will get off his charge attack. This one I will shield, so I guess Cresselia would have won if I didn't shield that, because that would have Would that have knocked me out? I don't even know. It would have been close. So I go for my Surf. And I believe the Cresselia shields this. I was not expecting the shield, but I think, yeah. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I could farm down. Yes, he'll be able to get to another charge attack. I'll use my last shield, and then we could farm down and have energy for whatever is in the back. But he decides to switch, so I'm going to save that energy and switch into Venusaur. Now, as I've mentioned, keep in mind that the Earthquake is going to hurt my Venusaur. But we're still able to take it, as you can see. And I'm going to go ahead and go for that Frenzy Plant. If he decides to shield, he probably could get to a Hydro Cannon, but he's not going to shield. Totally fine. So he's still up a shield. We do have to watch out for that. But in comes that Giratina, of course. We still have the Registeel, though, so I'm okay. Going to go ahead and go for the Frenzy Plant right now. The Frenzy Plant, just chipping away. It's not going to do much. I know he's going to farm us down. So we do have that Lapras. We also have my Registeel. So I bring in Lapras, going for the Surf, hoping he'll think it's an Ice Beam, and he shields. We get that correct. So that is beautiful. That is beautiful. That was a little bit risky as well, I guess, but that's basically what I was hoping for. And we do get that correctly, so that's good for us. So I'm going to bring my Registeel now, as you can see. Ancient Power, Dragon Claw, it doesn't matter. As long as he doesn't get the boost, that's what we don't want. It's possible, as we saw against Holden McGroin, but Flash Cannon's going to be able to knock out this Giratina. I just need one more. So he will go for his charge attack, and it's going to be that Ancient Power. And we're trying to get to another Flash Cannon. He pulls the switch into that Cresselia. We knew it was Cresselia. We're able to farm it down, right? Because we saw Cresselia earlier in the battle. That's ultimately why I brought in my Lapras, because I knew Cresselia, because I knew my Registeel had a good matchup against Cresselia and Giratina, so I was okay with allowing Lapras to faint. So that's why I wanted to take his last shield. You guys get what I'm saying? I wanted my Registeel to be the final battler. So the next match up, let's see, this might be the last one. Let's find out. No, it's not. It's not. So I have my Shiny Lapras versus Venusaur. So how does this matchup go? Now, obviously, Frenzy Plant is going to be enough to knock us out. So Venusaur, I believe, won this match, but let's see. So I am going to go ahead and shield this. So even though we're weak to grass, you also have to keep in mind that he is weak to ice. So we're going to go ahead and charge up enough for an Ice Beam and bluff with the Surf. We do correctly get that shield. Totally fine. That's awesome. I'm going to invest my last shield. Now, I knew that Venusaur would have to invest his last shield if he wanted to win. So I am going to go ahead and go for my Surf. If he didn't invest his shield, this would have either been enough or took him very low. I think that would have been enough. So we get to the Surf, but unfortunately I was trying to feint him down. Maybe I could have clicked on Surf and got to it first and won. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, I bring in my Registeel, and it's Farm City, baby. So yes, he's going to get a Frenzy Plant. It does decent damage to a Registeel, but we're still able to take it. And we're just going to farm down. Now we have energy with Focus Blast and Flash Cannon. In comes Swampert. So I still have my Venusaur in the back, right? So that's all I'm thinking of. I wanted to get a lot of damage against Tem and try and farm down the Swampert. Unfortunately, he switches into an Alolan Muck. So I'm actually glad it's a Alolan Muck. Now we have energy on my Venusaur, so that damage is okay. It's nothing super great, but it's okay. I'm glad to see the Alolan Muck, as I said, over a Giratina-Altered form. But we're able to get him really low. So one Flash Cannon is going to knock out that Muck instantly. So he hits me with the Sludge Wave. We could take it. We could try and get to one more Frenzy Plant. Are we able to? No, we're not. Okay, this is definitely going to knock out my Venusaur. So watch this play. I thought I was going to lose this game. I bring in my Registeel, right? I'm just trying to farm him down, because I know that Swampert has energy, and it's just going to absolutely go to town against my Registeel. So I click on my Flash Cannon immediately after his charge attack, because I knew the Swampert was going to come in and try to Hydro Cannon me. I knew it was going to happen, because that's the play I would have made. So now I'm able to get to another Flash Cannon before that Hydro Cannon from Swampert came out. I wouldn't have won this game if I didn't immediately click on that Flash Cannon. It was not a CMP tie. I wasn't trying to hit the Alolan Mug with Flash Cannon. I was trying to hit that Swampert, which I knew he was going to switch into. So very good game. I pulled that one out, but the next match we have a Giratina-Altered against Lapras. Favorable for Lapras. Ancient Power hurts. Not going to mess around with it. It will do decent damage, but we're still able to take a couple of them. So I'm going to go ahead and go immediately for the Ice Beam. because a lot of the times Giratina-Altered does not shield, thinking it might be a bluff, and even if it isn't, they could still take it, which is true. So he does take it, doesn't shield it. He will hit me with an Ancient Power. We could take that, and then we just farm down. So we're going to be able to beat that Giratina-Altered form and have energy and still have both our shields. Gonna go ahead and go for an Ice Beam against the Snorlax. I had no idea what was coming in. Could have been a Togekiss for all I knew, but I'm okay with going for Ice Beam against the Snorlax. Okay, we're down for the count. So what do I want to bring in against a Snorlax? I decided to bring in my Registeel. I do have that Focus Blast, and I go for the Flash Cannon bait, hoping that we would pick up a shield. I was like really surprised if he doesn't shield, so he does go ahead and shield that. Totally fine. So I actually pull the switch, and he is going to hit me with a Charge Attack. I'm assuming he has Body Slam and Earthquake, so I do take that Body Slam. I mean, it's decent damage. He brings in his Registeel, which is not really great for me, but I knew we have an energy advantage, and I knew these Frenzy Plants would add up. So we get to one. Can we get to another one before the Flash Cannon comes out? We can. So as you can see, these Frenzy Plants just adding up in damage. So getting him to the yellow. I guess he's trying to farm down, or not farm down, but farm up a little bit of energy. Totally fine. He will hit us with a Flash Cannon, expecting it to knock me out. It actually doesn't. I was shocked when I survived that, and we get to another Frenzy Plant. Look how much damage. So I bring in my Registeel, and this is not... We still have 2 shields, keep in mind, so I'm going to go ahead and shield this. I was expecting the Flash Cannon. It's a Focus Blast, but I didn't want to take the chance at that point. Luckily, I didn't. So I go for my Flash Cannon against the opposing Registeel, and he's going to go ahead and shield that. That's fine. And at this point, he's going to pull the switch into Snorlax and hit me with a Charge Attack, and I let it go. It's going to be an Earthquake. That's okay. We could take it. We go for the Focus Blast. I know that Registeel is not going to be able to farm me down before I could farm him down because he's lower than I am. So he is going to go ahead and go for a Charge Attack. That's why we saved the last shield. Focus Blast may have been able to knock us out. It's just a Flash Cannon, but now we're going to be able to feint the opposing Registeel down, and we do go ahead and take that game. So really well played. Very tough game. So moving on to my next opponent, I lead with Lapras. This is a Lapras mirror match. So unfortunately, something happened in this game. Lag, not against me, against my opponent. So you'll see that as we get to it. So basically, how I like to play the Lapras mirror match, and I don't see Lapras as a lead much on my opposing side, but I basically like to charge up the Skull Bash. Why? Well, first of all, I don't have Skull Bash on my Lapras, but I also know my opponent doesn't know that. So I like to charge up to Skull Bash and then go for the Surf, and they might wonder if I have a Skull Bash and maybe shield. I did get a shield that way in the preseason. It's very rare, in my opinion, that my opponent will shield, but as I said, it has happened, so you might as well charge up to the Skull Bash at least, so you could at least bluff it. Obviously, I don't have it, but I also, at the same time, know that my opponent doesn't know that. So, sometimes I didn't get a shield in this situation, but as I said, it happened in preseason, so you might as well play it that way. There's no harm in doing so. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Surf. It's just going to be a Surf mirror match at this point. So I get him to the red. Now, my Lapras has really good PvP IV, so generally I do win the mirror match. I don't know in this situation. Obviously, I don't know his PvP IVs. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Surf. And my goal is, this is the last Surf I'm going for, and then I'm going to try and farm down. If he doesn't shield, he doesn't. Now, he goes for the Surf. Now, watch this. So he gets off the Surf, and we lag. No idea what's going on. I'm still tapping the screen. I'm like, oh no, not more lag. The damage didn't go through. And it just didn't go through, and my opponent's probably sitting there in shock. So it's really unfortunate. I would have been able to take that Surf anyway, and we both may have knocked each other out, or I may have won that match, or he may have, I don't know. But either way, obviously, I didn't take that damage, which is unfortunate. It's not my fault. Whenever it happens against me, I never blame my opponents. He wasn't blaming me. He contacted me on Twitter about it. He was not blaming me about it. But it's just unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate. This lag is just so unfortunate. But it's like, what can you do about it, you know? I actually contacted Niantic to ask them if they could lower the requirements to 2800 for rank 10 and 2400 for rank 9. I think that would be fair. Obviously the lag can still affect us, but if you're like in the 2800 range and you're like, I can't continue winning because of the lag, maybe you could, maybe you'll still get rank 10 because you'll be at 2800, right? So I don't know. It would definitely benefit us, and it would still be a challenge. So I think that's reasonable. What do you guys think about that? But anyway, I don't know if it's going to happen. They did respond saying they'll pass it along to their team, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, as you can see, that said, I did go 5-0. And we actually get a Rufflet, which is pretty cool. I had 2 Rufflets already. I forgot to Pineapple it, but that's okay. So we're just going to go ahead and catch that Rufflet. And we'll take that candy. And I still need a Bravery, but shiny checking a Solrock as well as a Boltoy. I still really want a shiny Solrock. I do not have one. And yeah, so that's going to conclude this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you so much for checking out my latest video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. If you like this video, check out one of my other videos that you'll probably enjoy.